on the group as such, the calendar. Yeah, I think I had about 10 people sent their views of what they thought the calendar was going to be for the weekend, and some of them were very detailed. Some people left so much meat off the bone. The whole point being of your calendar is it's your benefit. Yeah, so we want to go forward with that. Morning, Megan. People coming on now. We'll start in a minute. Quick message: if Corey can hear me, online. Just reading about the impeachment. Corey, as people don't know, lives in America. Yeah, so it must be about, I don't know, 3 a.m. out there, ridiculous. I just read it coming out that the House Rules Committee are going to impeach Trump in the next 24 hours. Hopefully, Corey may come on and discuss with you and tell us what that means. Right, well, might as well start now because we've got was it a quorum of 10, which is quite good. Going on today on the Monday, non-farm Monday is normally the quietest day of the month. Always. So if you go forward, we always know the first Friday of the month is non-farm payroll, but the following Monday historically has been very quiet. Most of you who have set the calendar in, there's 2 main things are out today. So I'm squinting over here. We've got 2 o'clock, the Bank of England, Tarenko speaks, he's Bank of England, and obviously at 2:40 is the big event of the day. Christine Lagarde. Those of you who don't know who Christine Lagarde is should be shot. If you want to be a day trader, you should really know who she is. I'll quickly tell you, she is head of the ECB. So there's a lot of things coming forward. Going ahead to overnight and from Friday, I have said all along to a lot of people, and those of you who haven't done the bond multiple choice question, Harry, you didn't you last week?
Yeah.
Difficult?
Yeah.
Well, the whole thing, and the government bonds, those of you who want it, I know a few on those that they have done it before, so it's important. But I've been saying for the last 2-3 weeks, basically because I was a government bond trader for about 20 years. It sounds a hell of a long time, but most of the moves that come from the government bonds move the market, and the reason why is that if the governments have to raise money, they raise it through government bonds and through auctions and everything else. And so the first time last week, the yields in the 10 years went above 1%. So although Wall Street's at its all-time highs, the government bonds are telling you something completely different. So it'd be very interesting coming on to Thursday because Mr. Powell speaks Thursday. Hang on, I've got a quick look at the screen at 5:30, which is fairly weird. So we'll be aware for that. But also Biden also will announce, James might tell you off, because he knows better than me. Biden has announced this $3 trillion furlough payment, whatever. So they've got to find the $3 trillion for it. So this is why we've been saying all along that keep your eye on the 10 years, and we'll do a Zoom about it later this week. However, but if the 10-year yields keep going up, you would expect indices to come off. Anyway, so what's the time? We've got 7 minutes to come through. Let's go quickly from last week. The interesting thing for those who do fundamentals, non-farm payroll was a terrible figure, the first drop since April last year, but we did mention it before the figure, that the worse the figure, the more the stimulus the Fed will bring in. And I think we found that on Friday when the market I think I call it the Grand Old Duke of York. They marched them up to the top of the hill and marched them down again. We may see that again coming into Monday. And what we've seen, obviously, is that the volatility and the liquidity. I've got to send one of our new members here who, apologies, my multitasking is not good. Anyway, right. Okay, well, that's done. Right, okay, AL. Still trying to make people come in. Next time, we're going to try to Zoom every day at 7:50, which you do. It is nicer if you come in at 7:50 rather than 7:54, whatever. Those of you who want a quick chat beforehand, you can come in there. The same thing, we're getting a lot of people, etc. We're managing their risk now. Yeah, they want to manage their risk, and I know I spoke to Harry about becoming a day trader, how much you risk daily, and also importantly, how much you make daily. So on the risk thing, we take over that responsibility, and you tell us whatever it is, and obviously, as most of you are through IG now, you can come through the Educator Trades IG or Synergies. You've got a Lewis Burton on there. He will get on to hold of him on the thing, and he will advise you accordingly. But it's a great system to use because we know every now and again we don't blow out our account, but as we said, we blow out trading more than 3 or 4% a day. So that risk management tool is proving to be very popular. And over the years, most trades and most prop houses always have a risk manager as such. He is in fact their best friend and also their worst enemy. There's nothing worse than saying to someone, you've got to stop trading for the day, and also patting them on the back saying, well done, you've had a great day. Right, I'm going to look at the DAX this morning. We're going to whack it up here, put it on a shared platform. The same thing for those of you who are learning day trading. Let's put it on 5 minutes. We do expect volatility on the openings at 8 o'clock, and that's why we always have our Zooms at 8 o'clock. Because of FTSE, DAX, and most European indices do open. I put on the discussion. I went short the DAX this morning, basically here. Yeah. So basically, I made no money out of it, even though I could have taken some money off the table. So. We'll go to the DAX. Those of you new to trading DAX, and I think a few of you got it wrong. A few people anticipated the move in the DAX overnight or 8 o'clock, sorry. But what we do, we tend to wait for the price action, yeah? And we see it suddenly come in, and then it accelerates. Last week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we saw it's very clear buy signal, yeah? Again, with the news that's come out overnight of America, again, pushing China things. The other thing was the reason why I sold the DAX in a way was because China found another 11 million people have contracted positive. Whether you believe it or not, I don't know, but that seems to me a bit bearish. So that's why I went short on the trade. I've got a 35 tick stop in the DAX. When we're scalping, we've tightened stops and we tend to hold them out. So we've got that 3 or 4 minutes. Whatever you're going to choose on your indices, choose wisely. The reason I'm choosing DAX is for one very simple reason. The pound's come off a lot. If those of you who look at the FX, let's have a look at here. We see the pound, yeah, the pound's come off, what do we say, 0.5%, yeah, if you look at it here. And normally to me, that tells me the pound's off. Recently, the indices have gone up and vice versa. But at the moment, I think the market's turned a bit, so I'm going to wait and see. So that's the only reason I'm not trading the FTSE in the open, and I know if it's what I normally do, yeah. But the case of that although I'm bearish indices, I'm very much aware that if the pound comes off anymore, and was it coming off from lockdowns, and maybe we're going into lockdowns for longer. I think most people now realise it won't be February the 11th, which is half term, and the 4th of April is Easter. A lot of people now are talking about July. So obviously those come in. Well, we've got a quick minute before we go on there. Our crypto man, Mr. Dave Peters, what's your view in 30 seconds on cryptos over the weekend?
Bitcoin sell-off by big holders.
But you've basically seen that as a reason why they're just taking profits?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm not a crypto trader. I have basically told a lot of people educate trade, don't touch with a barge pole unless you've got very deep pockets and accept 20% swings. But I mean, yeah, well, yes, I mean, Dave's been trading crypto for probably more than most of us put together. So that's the call from crypto. So thanks for that, Dave. Right, we're going to whack over now. I've got the DAX up on a 2-minute chart, you get a 5-minute chart, anything else. And we do expect it as we come into 8 o'clock, obviously on Monday, and where we see Wall Street and where we see Hong Kong. Remember, they have delisted, I think the US has delisted some of, is it 100 companies in Hong Kong overnight? So that's pushed it down a bit. So the news sentiment coming out is bearish. However, at 8 o'clock when we trade, and most of you have been there before, we wait and see for the price action. It could be messy, and I think the last minute or so we've seen a red candle down 26. I've got the DAX up, and we've suddenly seen it rally. And also the DAX will be fast. And I expect in the next 2-3 minutes, the DAX could move 30, 40 ticks in 30, 40 seconds. Yeah. Do we get involved in it? We watch the price action. It's a great learning tool to learn and where it goes up, so we don't get sucked in. Some of the worst trades we had last week, and a lot of people sent their trades over, were the boredom trades. Just because we got up early for the 8 o'clock opening, doesn't necessarily mean we have to trade. If we look at the news items, and I know Imran, you sent your calendar through, you realise how bare it was and how you're going to improve that in the next hour.
Absolutely.
Lesson learned. But therefore, the more you put into your portfolio, the more you put into your diary and everything else, especially those you're doing one-to-one, it's for your benefit. And it will tell you when to trade and when not to trade. Coming out, although my stop in the DAX is 14,010. We have seen some decent buy in the last 20, 30 seconds of the DAX. In a way, you can either look at the candle, which is a bit scary because it makes you get stuck in too much, or you look at the prices. Up above here, I'm looking at the DAX, 13,990, 89.90, and see if that moves. Yeah. Those of you come back to it. We're trying to sort out the trader made. Hopefully that'll be done this week to get the market profile a bit quicker. I know a lot of you have said it's a bit slow, but remember they collate that data from the exchanges. Hopefully we'll have another tool on TraderMade which will help you a lot. So those of you aware of it, it will be a virtual pit. Yeah. So if anyone's trading anything else, it will show up what your positions. It won't show the size up, but if, for instance, if Harry or Dave went long or short the DAX, it will show up red or green. Yeah, which hopefully be a great tool for those, not just to get in to see the price action, but one of the biggest faults that most of us have is that we don't run our trades far enough. Yeah, so when we get into a trade, I haven't traded yet, as you can see. I'm waiting to see, but when the market does suddenly move, and those of you who know the point of control, those of you who've done market profile with me, the POC is interesting, and we'll come back to see if we can see it up here. Let's have a look. You normally don't see very much in the point of control. What we got here? Let's put the DAX up. Those of you who have got TraderMade and aren't aware of the codes are different for every person. Ask for me and I'll send them on to you. What have we got here in the DAX? That is the wrong date, isn't it? We are currently on the 12th, on the 11th, sorry. I thought, blimey, I'm short there. As we come in here, we've got basically the market exactly where it is. It's very tight, very quiet. Yes, and I've always said that you normally need a 50 or 60 or 70 tick range on your indices to find your point of control, your last price, and everything else. And again, I think it's still a bit slow from what we're seeing there. No, right, yeah. So again, I'm sure I have to be short, and I think I might add some more shorts now. Yeah, we've got here. They've got the point of control at 93. That's weird. That's exactly where I'm short. I didn't go short there because it was a point of control. I sold it about 7.30 and the value 95. So in theory, if we are short, where it is now, I would put my stop. I said it is at 14,010. Yeah, I might bring that down where we are now, down to probably the figure. It's telling me here the point of control is 93 and the value is 95. Fairly thin. Yeah. Those of you who are new, the time print O is 7 o'clock, P is 7:30 to 8. And Q would be 8 to 8:30, and I think the Q is basically saying so far we've gone straight down. Yeah, hopefully that will help. And as we see, we are delivering further down. It was weird because at 8 o'clock you couldn't quite see it. Yeah, which was interesting. But now we're seeing it coming in later. And eventually it could be quiet today. I said that before. 2 things on the board. Those who've done the calendar are basically the Bank of England, but the important one will be 2:40 weird time. Christian Lagarde speaking, head of the ECB. Hopefully that's helpful. Those of you, Imran, we'll do a one-to-one when you're free. The rest of you, catch me on the discussion group. But on the meat of the bone, if you do your calendar, today's the quietest day of the week. So in theory, you have to have a reason to trade. You may not trade today. Yeah. It could be quite tight and bitty. Going back to further in the week, again, Thursday looks like our busiest time with Powell talking and also Biden talking about how he's going to raise the $3 trillion. Those of you who would like to do the bond multiple choice, it is difficult. Harry may tell you how hard it is, but we can send it on. And as the market's moving, we're teaching more and more about government bonds because they seem to be getting more important. Anyway, hopefully that's helpful. We try and keep our Zooms down to less than 15, 20 minutes. So I've got to be very careful that we're right on the limit now. And those of you, I hope it helps. And we're back tomorrow. Okay, have a good day.
Cheers, Neil.
Imran, we'll do a Zoom in about 5 minutes. Okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.